Hello friends and neighbors, fans of Dog Squadron Racing and fans of the Weekend Warrior. This is a special episode of the Weekend Warriors Workshop. Here, for the first time, Dog Squadron Racing, that's my cycling group, along with the Weekend Warrior, get to do a bicycle review, courtesy of one of the local shops and Windsor Bicycles. Now, this is pretty cool because Windsor hasn't been in bike shops in America in, probably, say, 25 years. They're available, but they're not in bike shops. Well, there's a shop here in town that is thinking about bringing them in. They've seen our videos, both Dog Squadron Racing and Weekend Warrior, and they really would like us to do a quick review because we're average Joes that just enjoy bicycling, and I happen to be formerly in the bicycle industry, so they know I've got some experience. So here we go. In the box right here in front of me, I've got a Windsor Knight 30-speed road bike. It's an aluminum frame, a carbon fiber fork, and pretty darn good components. So I'm going to go ahead and unpack it from the box, pull it on up, and let you watch the build process. Because I get to do this from box through the first ride, and then I got to send it back. So here we go. Okay, now we got the packing pretty much completely undone. As you see, I've got the front wheel off. It's an aluminum frame. I could probably clamp on the seat tube okay, but I'm not going to. I've got a neat little extender that will fit down in the seat tube, hang off the side, and let me bring the bike up to the level I want to work while not endangering the crimping on any of the tubes. So I'll take care of that right now. Okay, now that we're in the stand, I'm ready to go ahead and finish unpacking it, and then we'll take a look at how this thing is put together. Oh, just a little side comment here. Just another Mamba fan. This is what I used to do for a living before I went back to the world of military electronics. Okay, now you see there's a couple little funky things here. When I put the stem on the direction I want it to be, well, the handlebars are a bit upside down, but it's not like the old days where I had to tear it completely apart. This got a front clamp on it. I can pop that off, turn the bars around the way they need to be. We'll be back in business. Okay, give me just a second, and I'm going to get one of my cameras and do the close-ups of all the welds and stuff, because this thing is beautifully built. You got to see it. Okay, what we have here is the seat tube weld at the top tube going into the stays, and you can see how it's just beautifully filled in there. You can see just a slight weld mark. It looks pretty gorgeous if you ask me. Okay, at the head tube, once again, the welds are just gorgeous aluminum welds. Okay, now componentry. The components on this bike are Shimano Ultegra. Ultegra is toward the top end of their component groups. Okay, it's a third-party crankset, but it is lightweight, it is strong, and it is just gorgeous. Okay, once again, Ultegra front derailleur, Ultegra rear derailleur. Tektro brakes. They look just like the Ultegras if you ask me. We're probably sacrificing a few grams of weight, but the price on it, this is how they keep the price down, is by putting a third party instead of full Shimano group. It is 6061 aluminum tubing with the Kinesis carbon fork. Now that is just gorgeous. geometry on this bike lends itself to being a little bit more relaxed. So a more upright stem is kind of the call here. Now, it can be an aggressive bike. The component group on it, the way it is set up, I mean, if you really want to get aggressive on this type of bike, you can. But the Windsor Knight that we have here, it's more of an open geometry on the frame, laid back a little bit more at the seat tube. The component group, it's a 30 speed. It's got a triple chainring in front. It's got 10 gears in back. So it's a 30 speed bicycle. Because it's got a triple, it's kind of more toward the tourist. The guy that goes out for Saturday, Sunday morning rides, maybe a Century, which is a 100-mile bike ride for those of you that don't ride. I lost my train of thought. I hate it when that derails like that. Yeah, so this is more for a rider like me. I'm never going to race again. So maybe that's why they asked me to do the review on it. Now, most bicycles at this price point will come with some sort of pedal. Quite often they're flat pedals or a specific Shimano pedal. Well, this came with a set of VPs that use the Shimano SPD style cleat, which means my mountain bike shoe will work on this road bike, or my commuting bike shoe will work on this road bike. I don't have to go out and buy another set of shoes that I can put a special cleat on, or another kind of cleat. These match up the cleats I already have. So I'll throw a little bit of grease on these threads and screw them into the crank arms, and we'll be ready to start working through the gears. Wow, 10 gears is a lot to shift through. I like 10 speeds. That is 10 speeds on the rear end. Now, think back, you older guys like me. 1972, a 10-speed bike. 2 chain rings in front, 5 gears in back. The Schwinn's weighed like a boat anchor. Nowadays, this bike weighs less than 20 pounds. It's got 10 speeds, all in the back, plus 3 in the front, so we got a 30-speed bike. You have to like that. Well, I don't suppose you have to like that, but if you don't, you're pretty hard to please. Okay, the bottom bracket's nice and snug. The headset's nice and snug. The back wheel is true as you can get. Now, one of the features I saw researching this bike was the fact that this set of wheels is hand-built. Wheels are normally manufactured by machines anymore. They screw all the spokes into the same tension, let them go. Normally when you get a bike from the factory, you got to spend 15-20 minutes screwing the wheels on. That's if they're really bad. Actually, I exaggerated, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, unless they're really, really bad, got cranked in shipment or something like that. This bike, the wheels are made just like I would make them. They're done by hand, all the spokes are tensioned by hand, and then they're trued at the factory. Something I should mention is the shape of the tubing on this bike. Now in the camera you can't see it because it looks round in the camera, but it actually isn't. It's ovalized tubing. That is to say, it's skinnier at the top and bottom than it is in the middle. It looks like they've run a reinforcement ridge on the top and bottom. So we're not going to get a lot of side-to-side flex in this frame. We've done the same thing, or Windsor has done the same thing on the down tube. It's kind of round, but toward the bottom, it bulges a bit, bulges up on the top. Once again, it has a little bit more shape down at the bottom bracket. So when you get up and crank on this bike, the bike isn't going to flex like a rubber band on you, which means you're going to transfer more power to the rear wheel, and you're not going to waste all that energy, say in a climb. You'll be able to climb a little bit easier, a little bit better. Now the aluminum itself is pretty rigid, but the geometry of the bike is going to take the road vibration out of it. The geometry along with this carbon fork. The road hash, as we call it, the little bit of vibration you pick up, say, on asphalt, isn't going to get transferred up into the rider's lower back. So the rider's going to feel better at the end of the ride, not going to get so fatigued, going to be able to ride better, longer. So, as I said, I'm really impressed with the little things they've done on this bike. The price tag on it is much lower than you would find on, say, a Trek or a Specialized. I love Trek and Specialized. I ride a Specialized myself. I ride an old Sequoia Comp, carbon fork, carbon stays, full Tegra group. I'm happy with that bike. Of course, then again, my brothers and sisters bought me that bike, so how could I not be happy? But this bike, if I couldn't have my Specialized, I'd have this bike today. Provided my wife lets me, of course. So now I'm going to finish out getting the seat tube in it. I'm going to fill the tires with air, and you don't need to watch that. And then I'm going to take it for a quick ride. So y'all stand by.
So hi there. We've just finished up the build on the bike we're doing the review on. I just got down a little bit late. Chris is out giving it the first test ride. It's a gorgeous machine, gotta admit. Great setup. Looking forward to doing this a couple more times if we can get somebody to give us a new bike to put together. So we'll see you in a minute. So here it comes. It's riding pretty smooth. It's a good looking bike. Here, I'm gonna give you a look as it goes by. Pretty quick. So what do you think?
Sweet. So here we have it, the Windsor Knight. This is a sweet ride. It's stiff enough, it doesn't flex when you're really jumping up on it, accelerates like a bat out of hell. The component group on it, for the price, you're not going to get better. And I don't know what else to say except, hey John, come get your bike.